Hello everyone! Welcome to this next tutorial on how to make cloned buttons. And this is part of the button mapping series. And I know I said the button mapping would be two parts, but this is crucial if you want it to be working. So we're gonna have to do this as our second part. Anyway, in case you didn't know what cloned buttons are, it's basically where instead of having multiple sprites for different buttons, you only have one sprite that manages all the buttons. So anyway, let's get into it. But before we do that, remember to follow Fimochi on Scratch. You spell it Fimochi. Or, I mean, no, not or. And like this video and subscribe for more exciting tutorials and other kinds of stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. So first, since this is a new project, we don't need to save as a copy. So just call it cloned buttons. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our buttons, but for now, I'm just going to have scratch cat. So duplicate. So I'm going to call this button #1 and this one #2. And so I'm going to ungroup scratch cat's head. And I'm going to make him an angry scratch cat instead of a happy one. And then I'm going to regroup him back together. You can do that by dragging or holding shift and clicking on all the things you want to group, which is very helpful sometimes when the dragging your mouse over everything doesn't work. And if you want to unselect something, just hold shift and unclick it. Anyway, so now I'm going to regroup it. So now I have happy scratch cat and sad scratch cat. So let's get into it. And I'm going to also rename this from sprite 1 to buttons. And remember with clones that the original sprite should be the cloning factory and that the rest of the sprites should not do anything. So anyway, first I'm going to on green flag click hard. So when you click the flag, he'll be hidden. And then now I'm going to do the finding the amount of costumes technique. So switch costume to #2. Make a new variable called max cause hash. Yeah, it's not really the best name, but variables don't have to have good names. So then switch costume to, remember this trick from my other tutorials, switch costume to round 0. Then set max cause hash to costume number. And then finally you can switch back to the first costume you have. Or if you rearrange the order, you can just get the switch costume to round and then switch costume to round 1. So now get a control block and repeat max cos hash. And just what we're going to do is we're going to create a clone of myself and next costume. And just so when I've started a clone, we can go to random position and show for now. So when we do this, you will be able to see that this happens. But as you'll also be able to see is that you might be able to see them getting cloned. So all we'll do is we'll create a my blocks and I'll call it create buttons. And I'm using create instead of spawn, as spawning is for mobs and stuff. Anyway, one thing I forgot to also mention is tick the run without screen refresh, as this is the whole point of this block right now, and it's to make it go faster, and so nobody will gonna be able to see the cloning. And just for testing purposes, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna repeat 300, and when I click the green flag, the clones are gonna appear immediately. But then if I take this block out and I put the script under the flag, instead of the create buttons block, then you'll see that they're appearing very slowly. And this is because this is a run without screen refresh block, remember? And run without screen refresh means it'll happen in one screen refresh, which is so quick that nobody will be able to notice all of them happening individually. So, yeah. Anyway, so now we're going to actually create the button. So, I just changed this repeat 300 for now. So, just put this max cos hash back in. And when I start to clone, go to random position and show. But it's not going to be random position, so chuck that away. And now one last thing is create a new variable. Call that me for this sprite only. And before the repeat max cost hash, set me to 1. And then change me by 1 underneath the create clone of myself block. And so this will give each button its own me variable, which will be very useful. So show and say me. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna re-add that go to random position back in, just so you can see them. So look, you can see that when they're created, one of them says 1 and the other says 2. And you'll notice that it's always the angry one that says 2, because the angry one's the one that was created last. So yeah, and the reason they're both saying different things instead of the exact same number is because this isn't a false bytes variable. And false bytes variables, they change. So if they change even with clones, so I'm going to create a new variable, call it me false bytes, and change me by 1. I'm also going to put this say me under forever block. So I'm going to change it to capital me. If I change it to this, then these are always going to be saying 3 because at the end of the script, the me variable is 3. But if I change this to lowercase me, which is this, then no matter how many times I try, they're still always going to say 1 and 2. And this is because when you have clones and for all sprites variables, I meant for this sprite only. When you have a for this sprite only variable and there's clones, instead of the um instead of one variable being used for all the clones, there's one variable that, well, each clone has its own variable instead of all the clones having the same variable, which is very useful. Anyway, let's remove this random test script now. We don't need it. And the reason we needed the me was because we could add these scripts. So if me equals 1, and since they each cat has a different me variable, then it's going to be different. So cat 1 has the me of 1, and this cat, angry cat, has the me of 2. So if me equals 1, then stuff will happen. But if me equals 2 underneath, then something else will happen. So let's first code up the me equals 1. So if me equals 1, then forever, wait until touching mouse pointer, and not. So wait until touching mouse pointer, and not mouse down, and wait a second. And the second one will be wait until touching mouse pointer and mouse down. So remember, these are the same scripts I had in the clicker game video. And these basically check when the mouse is down and not down. So if you want to find out how... Wait, so basically what happens is that the scratch cat waits until it's touching the mouse pointer and the mouse is released so it can start a fresh new click. Then in the second wait until, it's waiting until the mouse pointer is touching it and the mouse is down. Then I'll happen all the scripts underneath, and then it'll go back to this first wait until, not mouse down. So wait until the mouse is released. Anyway, so in this forever, we're gonna wait until touching mouse point and not mouse down. Wait until touching mouse point and mouse down. And I'm just going to say well, since it is a happy scratch cat, I'm just gonna say hello and smiley face. But then I can duplicate this forever block and put this forever in here. And then in the angry scratch cat, I can say hello with an angry face. And also, well, the angry face is this. So now when I click each cat, they'll say different things. And also, I can position them differently because right now they're overlapping each other. So in this if me equals 1, I can go to the right side, so 90. And the left side will be go minus 90. So these are going to be in their different sides now. And when I click the happy scratch cat, he'll say hello for 2 seconds, and then he'll have his script running again. And if I click this cat, he'll say hello, an angry face. And these scripts might seem very, very useless right now, but this is very useful. Like if you want to have a game in one sprite, then these scripts will be very useful. So, like, say if you want to have the happy scratch cat being able to move left and right, so change X and change Y by minus. I'm just going to do these scripts quickly. So if you want to know what these are basically just arrow key scripts. And instead of having to do the if touching, well, if key pressed, if not key pressed, then you can do these fancy scripts, which is key right arrow pressed minus key left arrow pressed. So that would be either a 1 or a 0. And just so he doesn't move by one step, you can multiply it by a number, say 5. Then for the change Y by, it's the same, but up arrow minus down arrow. And then now, when you'll see that the happy scratch cat is moving, but the angry scratch cat isn't. So let's just make it that now. Oh, and also another thing I want to show you is wait. Actually, never mind. So what I'm gonna do in this second forever is I'm gonna do the same for the angry scratch cat, but instead I'm gonna do the WASD key. So D minus A key pressed and W minus S key pressed. So now I can move them both around, and also, yeah. That's another thing I should do is I should. Oh wait, never mind. I don't. I was just gonna set the rotation style, but if I did that, I wouldn't. Although you can if you want. So set rotation style left and right, and now you can do that. But then what you can also do is you can mirror the angry scratch cat to the happy scratch cat. So change X by, and you just swap these scripts around. Actually, you know what? What you can also do is you can just change this multiply to -5 and -5 on this side. So now when I do this, they move backwards. So yeah, these can be used to create lots of things, lots of different games and stuff. And this is going to be very useful when I come to the next episode of making the button mapping. But anyway, for now, that's the end of this learning. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna begin the setup for the button mapping in the next episode. So in the next episode, we're gonna be having four buttons, one for up, down, left, and right. So first of all, let's just delete these scripts, and duplicate these and change this me to 3 and 4. And then you can also create the buttons for these. So this one could be the up, this one can be the down, and these two can be the left and right. But anyway, for now, that's the end of this episode. And in the next episode, I'm going to be teaching you the button mapping. Hooray! And it'll be very, very cool. Anyways, until next time, see ya. Woo!